I Chair Argue, call the hybrid State Plumbing Board meeting of June 15th, 2023 to order at 9:30 a.m. Debbie, will you please call the roll?
Yes, I will. I do not see the vice chair yet, but I will go ahead and call roll. Chair Travis Argue.
Here.
Vice Chair Matthew Roselle.
Here.
Oh, sorry, Matt. I'm blind this morning. Craig Anderson.
Here.
Corey Fraser.
Here.
Melissa Gett.
Here.
Molly Keller.
Here.
Joe Bold.
Here.
And all members are connected virtually. You do have
Thank
a
you.
quorum.
All right. Is there anybody that has any changes to the agenda or the order of business? Okay. Being that there are none, I Chair Argue rule the agenda and the order of business approved. Are there any changes to the draft meeting minutes? All right, hearing none. I Chair Argue rule the draft meeting minutes of April 20th, 2023 final. Our next board meeting will be August 17th, 2023. All right. I'm going to now ask Pierre, is there address any public comment?
Thank you, Chair Argue. Pierre Sabah, Policy Analyst with the Division. As of this morning, we hadn't received any requests to give public comment to the board. We'll hold the line open for just a couple seconds in case anyone's here that did not sign up that would like to provide public comment. So if you're here and would like to provide public comment, please identify yourself now. Hearing no one, back to you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Okay, our plumbing program update is with Mr. Andy Skinner. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Chair Argue, members of the board. For the record, my name is Andy Skinner, Plumbing Program Chief for the State of Oregon Building Codes Division. I have a couple items for the board today. A couple of them are updates and some are just informational. So just kind of a reminder that the OIC renewal extension expires on June 30th. So those of you that need to get your OICs renewed, this is about a 2-week opportunity left for you. So might want to get on that. The next thing with that said, been working on since we've just about got the code change stuff done, been working on the code change for the plumbing for the next code cycle or next OIC cycle. And just kind of to communicate that we're not going to have for the plumbing a PowerPoint. We'll just have a document that'll be available on our website. So that'll kind of make it easy. This code cycle has been kind of an easy soft lift. So that should be straightforward for everybody. The other piece is we will be presenting the residential plumbing matrix to the residential board July 21st. So that will be done in kind of the last piece other than the public hearing for the code change cycle for this cycle. Just the last other thing I wanted to kind of touch on, we've over the last several months have canceled several of the chiefs meetings due to nobody turning in any questions or submitting questions. I just kind of want to get it out there again. If we want to continue having the chiefs meetings, I'd like to see some more participation and get some questions in, so we can kind of keep that dialogue going. That's about all I have for the board today. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Next up is the reports and updates, and that'll be with Emily. I guess, Emily, will you discuss the 5 cases?
Good morning, Chair Argue, members of the board. For the record, Emily Roque, contested case representative for the division. Before the board is a summary of consent orders recently negotiated by the division on the board's behalf for settlement prior to hearing. We've entered into consent agreements in 5 cases since our last board meeting. All settlements, including the amount owed and suspended civil penalties, fall within the guidelines of the penalty matrix and contain standard conditions. Board action is required on these cases. The summaries of these orders are included in a chart in your packet, and we've also provided copies of the actual orders themselves in your packets as well. I'm available to answer any questions you may have regarding any of these actions once I go through them. The first consent order is regarding case C 2022-0125, Coastal Maintenance and Plumbing, LLC. The incident occurred in South Beach in July of 2022 and involved the installation of new PEX water lines, new drain lines for a shower, and a new shower mixer valve. The violations determined in this case were allowing unlicensed plumbing work and failing to obtain a plumbing permit. The initial penalty assessed in the notice was $3,000, and the amount imposed in this consent order is $1,000, with $2,000 suspended. The second consent order is regarding case C 2022-0131, Greg's Heating and Air Conditioning, Inc. The incident occurred in Albany from July to August of 2022 and involved the installation of a tankless water heater and hot and cold water lines into and out of the new water heater. The violations determined in this case were allowing unlicensed plumbing work, failing to hold a valid plumbing contractor license, and failing to obtain a plumbing permit. The initial penalty assessed in this notice was $6,000. The amount imposed in the consent order was $1,000, with $5,000 suspended. The third consent order is regarding case C 2022-0168, Gavin Lee Smith, which is related to the case that I just described. The violation determined in this case was failing to hold a valid journeyman plumber's license, and the penalty assessed in the notice was $2,000. The amount imposed in the consent order is $250, with $1,750 suspended. The fourth consent order is regarding case C 2022-0147 for Integrity Plumbing, Inc. The incidents occurred in January of 2021 and August of 2022, both in Florence, and involved the installation of PEX water lines, the drilling of holes for water lines, attaching a hose bib onto an existing water line, and resetting a toilet. The violations determined in this case were allowing unlicensed work and failing to obtain a plumbing permit. The penalty amount assessed in the notice was $5,000. The amount imposed in the consent order is $1,200, and the amount suspended was $3,800. The fifth and final consent order is regarding case C 2022-0150 for Donald Moore. This case is related to the one I just described for Integrity Plumbing. The violation determined in this case was allowing unlicensed plumbing work. The penalty assessed in the notice was $2,000. The amount imposed in the consent order is $450, and the amount suspended is $1,550. Again, board approval or denial of these consent orders is required. You can choose to approve or deny the agreements as a whole or take action on each agreement separately. I'm also available for any questions at this time.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Okay, hearing none, I'll go ahead and make a motion for this. I make a motion to adopt the 5 cases proposed for resolutions as outlined in the enforcement board report and issue final orders. Motion's been made. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll take a vote on it. Debbie, will you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Jolie Bold,
Aye.
Molly Keller,
Aye.
Melissa Gett,
Aye.
Corey Fraser,
Aye.
Craig Anderson,
Aye.
Vice Chair Matthew Roselle,
Aye.
and Chair Travis Argue.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you. Next up is summary of 2 enforcement cases previously resolved. Emily, you have the floor again.
Thank you. Before the board are also 2 default orders. No action is required by the board. However, I'm available if you have any questions. The first default order is regarding case C 2022-0078 for Jeffrey Snethen doing business as Fast Bath. The incident occurred in Happy Valley in May 2022 and involved the hooking up of existing drain and angle stops, relocating refrigerator lines, creating new plumbing shutoffs for fixtures, and hooking up water lines. Violations determined in this case included failing to hold a valid plumbing contractor license and failing to obtain a plumbing permit. The penalty assessed was $4,000. The second default order is regarding case C 2022-0105 for Leftco Inc. The incident occurred in Salem from July to August of 2022 and included the installation of sinks, water lines, and drains, and the cutting of holes for plumbing lines. The violation determined in this case was allowing unlicensed plumbing work, and the penalty assessed was $2,000. Again, no action by the board is required for these default orders, but I'm available for any questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Does anybody have any questions about this? All right, we'll move on. There are no communications, no appeals, no unfinished business. Next on new business, Pierre, it appears that you will be the one discussing this.
Thank you, Chair Argue, members of the board. For the record, my name is Pierre Sabah, Policy Analyst with the Division. At the state's plumbing board meeting in April 2022, the board approved the 2023 Plumbing Specialty Code. Based on recent industry feedback, there are new proposed revisions to the code language for section 707.9 of the 2023 OPSC. The proposed change to the language does not include any fiscal impact, and your board packet includes the previously approved language for the 2023 OPSC section of 7.709 and the new proposed changes to the language. The division recommends that the board approve the new proposed changes that will be forwarded to the administrator for rulemaking and subsequent adoption. A motion will be needed to approve, amend, or deny the committee's recommendations and subsequent adoption. Approval must be with the finding that the added cost, if any, is necessary to the health and safety of the occupants or the public, or necessary to conserve scarce resources. And I also wanted to mention to the board that in your board packet, you will find additional language that was identified in sections 1061.2 and 1061.3 that created requirements outside the scope of the authority for the division to enforce. So this new proposed code language for those sections is included for review, but because these requirements are outside the legal authority of the board and the division, no board approval is required for those sections, only section 707.9. And if you have any questions about this modified language, Andy is right here next to me to answer any questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Does anybody have any questions or comments on this portion? Okay. Which one of the board members was on this code review committee? Was it you, Craig, or was it Melissa?
It was
Okay.
myself. Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I put you on the spot and ask for you to make a motion on this?
I'd be happy to.
Okay.
Craig Anderson, through the chair, would like to motion to approve the code language as provided and forward to the administrator for rulemaking and subsequent adoption. There should be no fiscal impact with this change.
Okay. Do you want to read the with the finding that the added cost?
Sure.
Can you read that for us, please?
Be happy to.
Thank you.
Again, with the findings that there are no additional costs. If any, it's necessary to the health and safety of the occupants or to the public, or necessary to conserve scarce resources.
Thank you. All right, there's been a motion made. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none. Debbie, will you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Joe Liebold,
Aye.
Molly Keller,
Aye.
Melissa Beck,
Aye.
Corey Fraser, Corey,
Aye.
thank you. Craig Anderson,
Aye.
Vice Chair Matthew Roselle,
Aye.
And Chair Travis Argue.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so next is a review of the committee recommendations for the new continuing education. And that again will be with Pierre.
Thank you, Chair Argue, members of the board. For the record, my name is Pierre Sabat, Policy Analyst for the division. The board's continuing education committee has been evaluating courses and instructors on the board's behalf. In March, the committee reviewed 5 applications from 1 organization. 4 courses were recommended for approval. 1 instructor was recommended for approval. A motion is needed to approve, amend, or deny the committee's recommendation, examples of which are outlined in your agenda packet, and also in your packet you will see the courses and instructor. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Is there any discussion in this area? Okay. Does somebody want to say something? Okay. All right, I'll make a motion. I make a motion to approve the committee recommendations for approval or denial of courses and instructors. Motion has been made. Any questions? Any discussion, I should say? All right, hearing none. Debbie, will you do the call or roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Jolie Bold,
Aye.
Molly Keller,
Aye.
Melissa Gett,
Aye.
Roy Fraser,
Aye.
Greg Anderson,
Aye.
Vice Chair Matthew Roselle,
Aye.
Chair Travis Argue.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, we have no announcements. Looks like this was one of them fast ones. I call adjournment at, what time is it? It is 9:47. Thank you, folks. That was short and sweet.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
I sure love these Zoom ones.